Did you know your body doesn't age because time passes? It ages because it was programmed to weaken, to get sick, to deteriorate. And the worst part, without you even noticing. From your very first day of life, you started receiving invisible commands. Things that told you it's normal to wake up tired. That after a certain age, the body breaks down, memory fails, skin wrinkles. You believe that. Everyone believed that. But this is the lie that's speeding up your aging. And I'm going to prove it to you now. Thoth, the Hermetic master of ancient Egypt, discovered millennia ago that there's a secret to breaking this programming, a hidden technique that activates your inner energy and starts to reverse the wear and tear that the system taught you to accept as natural. And today, I'm going to show you what almost no one has had the courage to reveal. But I'll tell you right now, this technique isn't a trick. It's an ancient code that works directly on your energetic field, and it really can stop the accelerated aging that was installed in you without your knowledge. But I'm not going to give you everything at once, because there's a step that has to be taken first, and if you ignore it, the secret won't work. So stay with me until the end, because I'm going to guide you through every step Thoth left recorded in symbols, rituals, and forbidden practices. And by the end of this video, you'll have the full map to escape the invisible prison that's draining your life force every day. Now tell me, do you really want to discover what the system hid from you? Then get your mind ready, because what I'm going to show you will affect your body in a way you've never felt before. Thoth didn't stop there, because he knew something that maybe you've never realized. There's a hidden pattern behind everything around you. A pattern that works like a silent but extremely efficient force that keeps you tired, distracted, and weakened. And it's no accident. Every time you turn on the TV and are hit with a flood of news talking only about tragedies, crises, and invisible threats, your body responds with tension. Your energetic field shrinks. Your nervous system gets ready to fight or flee, even though you're just sitting on the couch. Have you noticed that? How your body reacts without you wanting it to. How a simple newscast can leave you restless, anxious, or unmotivated. That doesn't happen by accident. That's mental engineering. Every violent image, every fear alert, every chaos narrative is a carefully placed trigger to keep your frequency low. Because when you vibrate low, you don't question, you just react. You go into survival mode. And in survival mode, there's no space to awaken. Now think about social media, endless scrolling, content fighting for your attention every second. A funny video followed by tragic news. A pretty photo followed by a comparison that makes you feel not good enough. All mixed together, all fast, all chaotic. That's no coincidence. It's strategy. Because the more confusing the environment, the more confused your mind becomes. And a confused mind is a tired mind. And when the mind is tired, the body gets sick. This manipulation is so subtle it seems harmless. After all, what's wrong with spending a few minutes on social media? Watching the news? Keeping up with what's happening in the world? The problem isn't the content itself, but the relentless bombardment that hijacks your energy without you even noticing. Your attention, which should be the channel through which your life energy flows and expands, is constantly diverted to stimuli that drain you, that fragment you, that scatter you. And what happens to a scattered mind? It can't create, it can't focus, it can't access the deeper levels of consciousness where real power lives. A scattered mind is always reacting, never creating, always tired, never renewed, always waiting for the next hit of stimulation, like an addict needing the next dose just to stay standing. Thoth knew this long before social media, television, or the internet existed. Because energy manipulation didn't start now, it's ancient. The methods were just different back then. Dogmas, impose beliefs, fears instilled from birth. Today, technology has just made more sophisticated what ancient controllers were already doing thousands of years ago. What used to be control through religion is now done through information. But the goal is the same: keep you vibrating low, because whoever controls your energy controls you. When your energy is low, you don't just feel more tired. You lose the light in your eyes. Your breathing becomes short and shallow. Your creativity disappears. You become predictable, and a predictable person is easy to manipulate because they don't have the strength to question, to break the cycle, to look into the void and see there an opportunity for rebirth. The tiredness you feel at the end of the day isn't just physical, it's energetic tiredness. It's the result of a system that constantly bombards you with stimuli that seem normal but are designed to keep you in a state of constant alertness. And the body wasn't made to live like that. The alert state should be temporary, an emergency resource. But for most people, it's become the daily standard. Now tell me, how can someone access their inner power if they live in internal war? How can they awaken their life force if every day it's being drained by useless information, manufactured fears, and endless distractions? The answer is simple: they can't. And that's why so few manage to get out of this loop. But Thoth didn't just sit back and watch this silent manipulation. He deciphered the hidden pattern that sustains this entire system. A pattern that acts between the lines, in the frequencies that can't be seen with the naked eye, but that shape the behavior of the masses. And more than that, Thoth left clues, signs for those who had the courage to break free from this invisible machine. Are you starting to realize that there's something behind your exhausting routine, something that goes way beyond the daily rush? Because if everything that tires you was just physical, a simple rest would be enough to renew you. But it doesn't, because the wear you feel is deeper. It's the price you pay for being immersed in a system that wants to keep your consciousness asleep. But Thoth saw what few dared to see, and the clues he left are ready for anyone who wants to turn this game around. Are you ready to discover the hidden pattern that keeps you trapped, but that could also be the key to your liberation? Because before you cross any portal, you need to recognize what's already inside you. And this is where something comes in that maybe you've already felt but never truly understood. You know that discomfort that comes out of nowhere? That uneasiness in your chest, a weight without explanation, a void that insists on showing up when the world outside finally goes quiet? Yeah. That thing you call anguish might not be a mistake. It might be a sign. The ancients called this the gate of rebirth. The Egyptian priests, direct disciples of Thoth's knowledge, taught that this discomfort wasn't a curse, but a warning. A whisper coming from the deepest parts of your soul telling you that it's time to break free from the invisible prison that keeps you blind. And this prison doesn't scream. It whispers through boredom, silent anxiety, that feeling that something's missing even when, in theory, everything seems fine. You've felt that, haven't you? That nameless restlessness that shows up when you're alone, when no music, no show, no conversation seems to fill the hole pulsing inside your chest. What you might not know is that this emptiness is both biological and spiritual, because your body, like your consciousness, carries ancestral memories. It knows when it's time to evolve, and to alert you, it generates that discomfort. It's an internal calling that most people ignore because the system taught them that feeling empty is a sign of failure or depression. But it's not. It's the beginning of transformation. The ancients knew this. To them, the void was sacred territory, a fertile space where the old identity begins to die so that a new one can be born. They called it a gate because it wasn't the end. It was just a passage. But unlike a physical doorway, This one doesn't open for those who try to run. It only reveals itself to those who face their own emptiness head-on. Because that's where the key lives, the one that can reverse all the wear and tear that the invisible prison caused in you. Imagine this void as a dark room inside you. Most people are afraid to enter because they can't see what's in there. They prefer to turn on the fake lights of distractions, of purposeless entertainment, of numbing routines. But those who have the courage to enter that dark room discover that the darkness wasn't the problem. The problem was the fear of looking at it. And that's exactly why this emptiness keeps showing up. Because there's something inside you that refuses to keep living asleep. That can't stand repeating the same script anymore. It's a silent scream begging for rebirth. You think it's exhaustion or sadness, but it's your life force trying to shake you, telling you that there's more, that you weren't born to live inside a script written by someone else. And here's what no one told you. This calling doesn't show up for everyone. Not everyone hears the whisper. Only those who've already started, without even realizing it, to weaken the bars of the invisible prison can feel it. The void is a sign that the internal walls have started to crack, that the old programming can no longer support who you're becoming. So instead of running, listen to what this emptiness wants to tell you. Instead of filling it with just anything, allow yourself to feel it, because it's in that feeling that transformation begins. And when you finally stop resisting and accept to walk through the gate, something changes. You begin to realize that you're not alone, that this process is part of something much bigger, that generations and generations before you also went through this calling. Some ignored it and stayed asleep forever. Others listened and awakened to a new reality. And what if I told you that Thoth left a practical way to walk through that gate? Without needing gurus, without faraway temples, without empty promises. A method that uses what you already have, your own body, as the key. Are you ready to find out how this passage happens in real life? Then before you cross it, you need to understand that this is not just any door. It wasn't created yesterday or last century. This path you've started walking has been walked by others before you, and they tried to tell us, tried to leave clues scattered through time, through texts, through traditions, but few listened, because most people were too busy with the noise of the world. Jesus was one of those who whispered this truth. When he said the kingdom of heaven is within you, he wasn't talking about a faraway place or a paradise promised after death. He was talking about an internal state, a latent power that lives inside every human being. But over the centuries, that phrase was distorted, manipulated, and turned into religion, into external rituals, into dogmas that make you believe you need an intermediary to access the divine that already lives in you. Buddha also tried to warn us. He not only discovered that suffering is born in the mind, but went further. He taught that everything we are is a result of what we think. In other words, your reality, your health, your aging, your strength or weakness, all of it starts in your mind. But that's not what the system taught you. Instead of looking inside, the world convinced you to look for answers in gurus, in quick-fix promises, in techniques that always depend on something or someone outside yourself. Hermes Trismegistus, the master of masters, sealed this same principle with the phrase, "As above, so below. As within, so without." He was saying that the universe is a mirror, that what exists inside you reflects in the world you see, but humanity chose to turn that knowledge into forbidden mystery, into untouchable occultism, into something reserved for the few, when in truth it was always available to anyone with eyes to see. All of these sages from different cultures and eras spoke of the same principle, that the power to regenerate, to rejuvenate, to transform your own life is and always has been inside you, but that truth was purposefully covered up. Because a human being who realizes they don't need anything external to awaken their inner energy is a human being that can't be controlled. And the system doesn't survive if people wake up. But there's something even more fascinating in all of this. These masters weren't just teaching pretty philosophies or life reflections. They were pointing to a technique, a spiritual science that's crossed generations, camouflaged in different forms, but always carried the same truth. The energy that heals, that regenerates, that reverses time is born in the heart of consciousness. And that heart is not a concept. It's a real point inside you, waiting to be activated. Thoth, the great Hermetic master, went further than all of them. He wasn't satisfied with just talking. He recorded this truth in symbols, visual and vibrational codes that can't be understood just with intellect. They must be felt, activated, experienced. Because they are energetic maps designed to guide those who dare to decode them to the center of their own power. Few have been able to understand these symbols throughout history. Many pass by them without realizing what they were seeing. Because they don't speak to logic, they speak to the soul. They are portals disguised in geometric shapes, in hidden words, in images that stir the unconscious. But now your time has come. You're about to start seeing these codes, because Thoth didn't leave this knowledge lost in time. He left it accessible to anyone with the courage to look beyond the surface. And this is where one of the greatest secrets begins to be revealed. Because Thoth didn't just want you to admire the symbols, he wanted you to live them. And for that he gave us a principle that for centuries was called alchemy. But not the kind of alchemy people think of, turning metals into physical gold. The real alchemy is mental. It's an internal process that transforms not what's outside, but what vibrates inside you. And you know what's most impressive? Modern science, with all its research tools, is only now starting to prove what Thoth knew millennia ago. What they used to call magic, we now call quantum biology. Because every thought you have, every emotion you feel, is not something abstract or invisible. They are biological commands. They produce real chemicals in your body. And those chemicals, depending on the quality of your thoughts, can be either poison or medicine. Think about that. When you live trapped in fear, guilt, resentment, your mind sends orders to your body to produce stress hormones. Cortisol, too much adrenaline, hormonal imbalance. The result? Your cells start dying faster. Your body begins to inflame from the inside. Your skin loses its glow. Your organs weaken. And your DNA, the same one they say determines your genetic inheritance, starts turning off important genes for protection and regeneration. That's aging. It's not time that destroys the body. It's the frequency of what you think and feel every day. But here's the bright side of the story. Because the same mechanism that destroys you can also regenerate you. When you raise the level of your thoughts, when you consciously choose to generate higher emotions like gratitude, true joy, compassion, deep love, your brain changes the chemistry it produces. It starts releasing serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. And those substances, which you thought only appeared in random moments of happiness, are actually healing hormones. They restore tissues, rebuild neural connections, regenerate cells that were sick. They literally rejuvenate your skin, strengthen your organs, and, most amazingly, they start to reprogram your DNA. That's right, because your DNA is not a fixed destiny. The science of epigenetics has already proven that the environment and the mind can activate or deactivate genes, meaning your biology isn't written in stone. It responds to your internal state. That's transmutation. It's taking the lead of emotional density you carry and turning it into vibrational gold. It's breaking free from the automatic cycle of fear and accessing states of consciousness where your body understands it no longer needs to protect itself from imaginary danger, but instead, it can start to heal. And when that happens, you don't just feel better. You literally start becoming a different person, lighter, more vibrant, younger inside and out. So think with me. If all this is real, if science is already confirming what the masters always taught, what's missing? Why are most people still stuck in aging, exhaustion, illness? Because just knowing isn't enough. You have to apply it. You have to turn knowledge into practice. And that's exactly what Thoth left us. The exact starting point to activate this transmutation isn't in a sacred book. It's not in a hidden temple. It's inside your chest. And that's where everything begins. For centuries, what the masters taught was ridiculed, labeled superstition, or baseless mysticism. But today, with the advancement of neuroscience, genetics, and quantum physics, what used to be treated as belief has become scientific data. We're no longer talking about blind faith. We're talking about tangible evidence. Researchers like Bruce Lipton, a cellular biologist, showed that the environment surrounding the cells is what defines their behavior. And that environment isn't just physical, it's emotional and mental too. In other words, your thoughts create a real electromagnetic field that directly influences how your cells function. When your mind vibrates in fear, anxiety, or despair, the internal environment of your cells becomes toxic. When you cultivate higher thoughts of peace, gratitude, love, that same environment turns into a fertile ground for regeneration. Joe Dispenza, one of the most well-known scientists in this field, proved through practical experiments that deep meditations not only change the brain but can actually alter the body on a cellular level. In people who practice certain meditative states for weeks, they observe changes in the telomeres. And why does that matter? Because telomeres are like the protective caps on your DNA. They determine how long your cells can keep dividing before aging and dying. The longer and healthier the telomeres, the longer your body stays young and functional. This means meditating, conscious breathing, raising your vibration. These aren't just alternative practices or spiritual trends. They're biological tools for rejuvenation. You can literally reprogram your body's longevity using nothing but the power of your mind and control of your internal energy. What once seemed esoteric is now pure science. Your brain doesn't distinguish between what's imagined and what's real. This has already been measured. When you visualize yourself as healthy, strong, and rejuvenated, your body responds to that internal image as if it were a direct command. And it starts to act to turn that image into reality. Now think about the power of that. For years, they made you believe you were a prisoner of genetics, of chance, of time. But what science shows today is that you were never just a passive observer. You are the architect. You shape your biology with what you think, feel, and imagine. What Thoth used to say symbolically, neuroscience now proves with brain scans, genetic testing, and energy field measurements. Quantum physics backs this understanding even more by revealing that everything that exists is energy vibrating at different frequencies. What we call matter is just condensed energy. That includes your body. That includes every one of your cells. And if everything is energy, then everything can be changed, transmuted, regenerated, if you know how to access the right frequency field. So when you hear someone say, "This is mysticism," that it's for people who believe in the invisible, remember, the invisible is already being mapped. What your eyes can't see, science is already detecting in frequencies, waves, and electromagnetic fields. What Thoth taught about the power of the mind, the body, and energy is now backed up by the world's most advanced labs. But even so, Thoth didn't speak only about the mind. He knew that just changing your thoughts wouldn't be enough if your body wasn't involved. That's why he left something more. A symbol, simple, a specific energetic circuit that, when activated, accelerates this entire process of transformation. And it's this exact symbol that you're about to discover. Are you ready to learn how it works? Because what Thoth left wasn't just a symbol to be admired in ancient drawings or carved into the walls of forgotten temples. He left a map. An energetic diagram encoded in a simple shape, but with a power that few truly understand. I'm talking about the Ankh, known as the key of life, one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Egypt, but one that most people have never understood beyond its looks. The Ankh isn't just a sacred object hanging around the necks of pharaohs. It's a circuit, a map of the energy flow that exists inside you. Look at its shape. At the top, a loop. In the center, a vertical axis that runs down strong. And on the sides, two arms that open out horizontally. It looks simple, but this structure represents the secret architecture of your own life force. The loop at the top isn't just decoration. It represents your head, your consciousness, the point where everything begins, because that's where your thoughts form, where your perception is shaped, where your intention is born. Without consciousness, there's no direction for energy. The central axis of the Ankh symbolizes your spine, the pathway where your life force moves up and down. It's the most important energy channel you have, the same one many traditions call Kundalini, or the serpent of fire. It's through this axis that energy must flow freely for your body to stay in harmony. The lateral arms represent balance. On one side, matter, the physical world, your needs, your concrete actions. On the other side, spirit, your connection with the invisible, with what can't be touched but can be felt. The Ankh shows that true life happens when these two arms are in perfect harmony, sustained by a conscious flow that begins in the mind, moves through the spine, and spreads out evenly between the physical and the spiritual. But the secret isn't just in understanding this symbolism. The secret is in using it. Because the Ankh is a mental tool. When you visualize it inside your body, something begins to change. Imagine the loop of light positioned on your head like an energy halo awakening your perception. See the axis running down the center of your spine like a vibrant golden line, and feel the lateral arms opening out at chest level, expanding your energy in all directions. Now bring your breath into this exercise. Inhale deeply, visualizing the energy rising from the ground up through the Ankh's axis in your spine until it reaches the loop on your head. And as you exhale, imagine that energy spreading out through the arms of the symbol, filling your chest, your shoulders, your arms until it radiates throughout your entire body. With every breath cycle, this visualization reorganizes your vital energy. What was stagnant starts to flow. What was chaotic begins to align, because your mind, when it focuses, when it visualizes and breathes in sync with this internal image, is sending direct commands to your energy field to reprogram your entire system. This isn't just imagination. Your brain reacts to what you visualize as if it were real. And your body starts responding with physical, hormonal, and cellular adjustments. This is how energetic reprogramming happens: visualization, breath, and focus combined. A simple trio, but deeply powerful. But before you think that's all, know that Thoth understood a crucial detail. Visualizing the Ankh is a first step, but it's not enough. There's a way to activate this symbol within the body, to turn it from a simple mental image into a living circuit that pulses real energy through every one of your cells. And for that, there's a specific ritual, a knowledge that Thoth kept secret for ages, waiting for the right moment to be revealed. Are you ready to learn? Because now you're going to discover what, for a long time, was hidden behind symbols and metaphors. The secret ritual that Thoth's priests practiced to activate the Ankh inside the body wasn't just an imagination exercise. It was a precise process, combining three powerful forces: breath, visualization, and sound. And not just any sound. It was a specific vocal vibration that awakened dormant parts of your energy field. They began with the breath. Slowly and deeply inhaling through the nose, with absolute focus on imagining golden light rising from the base of the spine to the top of the head. This light wasn't just an imagined glow. It represented vital energy being drawn from the center of the earth, traveling up the body's axis like a golden river rising up the trunk, vertebra by vertebra, until reaching the crown. When it reached the top of the head came the most powerful part, exhaling with sound. But not just any sound. They exhaled while emitting the sound RA, a deep, guttural sound that resonated from the solar plexus, that area just above the stomach. It wasn't meant to be spoken with the mouth normally, but as an internal vibration, as if the sound were creating space within the body. The sound RA wasn't chosen randomly. It was considered the sound of the sun, the frequency that activates the inner fire, the center of personal power. When RA was vibrated, the solar plexus lit up energetically, creating real physical heat. A heat that started as a soft tingling and quickly spread like a warm wave through the body. This wasn't symbolic. It was physiological. The body responds to sound vibration because every organ, every cell, has a specific frequency. And the sound RA was the key to unlocking the energy center responsible for distributing life force. When the sound echoed internally, the priest visualized the Ankh lighting up in the chest, the loop glowing on the head, the central axis pulsing golden light down the spine, and the lateral arms expanding like luminous wings in the chest. The energy started spinning, not just vertically, but in a spiral, creating a vibrational movement that activated the entire body. This combination was what generated what they called energetic expansion. You don't just feel more energy, you become energy in motion. Your body heats up, your mind clears, your breath deepens. It's like your whole system wakes up from a deep sleep. And this isn't an exaggeration. Those who practice regularly report not just more energy, but a different presence in their own body, as if the weight of years of exhaustion starts to dissolve layer by layer. This ritual doesn't require hours. Just a few minutes practice with real intention is enough for the body to begin registering the difference. The energy that once felt blocked starts circulating. What was stagnant starts to flow again. And with that, the vitality that seemed lost starts being recovered from the inside out. But this, Thoth made clear, was only the first phase. Because activating the Ankh is the beginning, not the end. To truly rejuvenate, for that energy not to stay stuck in one point, but to spread and renew every cell, every organ, there is a next step. A specific method the ancients used to expand that energy throughout the whole body, like an inner light bath. And that's what you're about to discover now, because activating the Ankh is just the beginning. The energy you awaken by vibrating the sound RA and lighting up the symbol inside you isn't meant to remain stagnant. It needs to move. It needs to spread like an overflowing river that nourishes every part of your body. If you just keep it concentrated in the solar plexus or the spine, it will quickly dissipate or get stuck in one spot. That's why the ancient Egyptians created what they called the light bath. They knew that life energy, once it rises to the top of the head, needs to be redistributed. It's like you've lit a powerful beacon at the center of your being, and now you need to shine that light into every cell, every organ. And the process is much simpler than you think, but it has to be done with full presence. After the initial activation with the Ankh and the sound, you should keep your eyes closed and focus on the top of your head, exactly where the golden light reached. And there, the visualization begins. Imagine that right in the center of your skull, there is a source of intense golden light, like an internal sun that starts radiating warmth and brightness. Then, visualize this light opening like a luminous shower, as if every golden ray were a thread of light gently descending over your scalp, your forehead, your face. This light doesn't stop. It keeps moving down your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your torso. It flows down through your hips, your legs, until it reaches your feet. But it doesn't just slide over you. It penetrates. Every ray of light you visualize entering is absorbed by the skin, moves through muscles, tissues, and dives directly into your cells. Imagine each of your cells as a small, dry, weakened sponge. When that golden light arrives, the cells soak in that energy like fresh water in a desert. They fill with vitality, begin to pulse, to vibrate, as if waking up from a dormant state. Your organs light up from the inside. The heart, lungs, liver, each one receiving its share of that regenerative energy. And here's where breath comes in. As you visualize the light bath, maintain slow and deep breathing. With every inhale, imagine pulling in even more light. With every exhale, visualize that light spreading even farther, reaching parts of the body you usually don't even notice, like the joints, the bone marrow, the deepest blood vessels. This process isn't just an imagination exercise. Your brain, when visualizing at this level of detail, begins to send real signals to your body. Your nervous system understands it needs to activate repair processes. Your hormones begin to balance. The immune system responds. It's as if a silent command says to your body, "Wake up." Those who practice this light bath feel immediate effects. A lightness in the body, a mental peace that doesn't depend on the outside environment, a subtle warmth across the skin, and over time, a real increase in energy, mental clarity, even brightness in the skin and strength in the muscles. Because the body begins to remember what it's like to function with full energy. But even with all this, something is still missing. Because this technique, as powerful as it is, isn't complete without an essential ingredient, an element without which all that energy won't stick in the body, won't turn into real, lasting rejuvenation. And it's exactly this element that Thoth pointed to as the final secret of the process. Are you ready to discover it? Because what's missing is simple, but so powerful that without it, nothing holds. The energy dissipates, the heat created by the sound fades, the light bath dims as if it were just a dream. And this is where the lost ingredient Thoth taught his disciples comes in. Anticipatory gratitude. The ancients already knew what science has only recently confirmed. Elevated emotions aren't just subjective states, they're biological catalysts. When you feel deep, genuine gratitude, your body understands that feeling as a command. And not just any command, but a clear signal that something good has already happened, even if your eyes haven't seen it yet. And that's what makes all the difference, because the body doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's intensely felt. If you feel gratitude as if you've already rejuvenated, the body starts to act as if that were already true. Epigenetics researchers have discovered that elevated emotions like gratitude and love activate genes linked to cellular repair and longevity. It's as if every cell, upon noticing the internal environment is full of gratitude, receives the message that it's safe to regenerate, that there's no threat, that it can operate at its maximum potential. The immune system gets stronger, inflammation decreases, and repair hormones like dopamine and serotonin are released more easily. Thoth's disciples knew this intuitively, long before modern science existed. That's why at the end of the ritual, when the Ankh was already activated and the light bath had filled the body, they dedicated a full minute, a minute of complete presence, to feel gratitude as if rejuvenation had already happened. It wasn't just a fleeting thought or a shallow affirmation. They felt their body as already renewed, their cells as already restored, their energy as already full. And here's the most important detail. It wasn't gratitude for what was coming in the future. It was gratitude for what already was, even if still invisible to the senses. Because to the body, the mind, and the energy field, time isn't linear like we think. When you feel anticipatory gratitude, you bring the future into the present. You create a bridge between now and what you want to manifest. And that bridge is built by real frequencies that shape the matter of your body. That's why at the end of your ritual, after activating the Ankh, after letting the golden light touch every cell, stay silent for 1 minute. And in that minute, feel gratitude. Not because you hope something will happen, but because you know it already has. Feel every part of your body as if it's already renewed. Imagine your face younger, your heart stronger, your mind clearer, and feel joy for it. That emotion seals the energy. It tells your field, keep this, strengthen this, make this real. Those who practice this deep gratitude not only boost rejuvenation, but begin to notice changes beyond the physical. Their posture shifts, their gaze transforms, the way they speak becomes more vibrant, because the body responds to what the heart believes. But even so, Thoth knew there was still one more step, because for this state of regeneration to remain constant, the ritual alone isn't enough. You need to access something greater, a direct connection to the eternal source of energy that sustains all things. A path that almost no one knows, but you're about to discover it now. Because Thoth knew that without this connection, the whole ritual would just be a limited internal cycle. It's like turning on a light bulb without plugging it into the infinite power grid. It shines for a while, but soon the energy runs out. And what Thoth revealed is that there's an endless source of energy, an invisible matrix that powers everything, including you. He called this practice the activation of the inner eye of Horus, not the outer eye that sees everything in the physical world, but the eye that sees what ordinary eyes can't reach, the direct connection to universal consciousness. And to access it, the process is both simple and deep. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the point between your eyebrows. Right there, in the center of your forehead, is what many traditions have called the third eye. But to Thoth, this point was a vibrational portal, the place where your individual energy touches the energy of all that is. It's not an abstract concept, it's real. When you focus on that point with calm attention, something begins to happen. A light tingling, a subtle pulsing, as if a field there is slowly activating. And the secret is not to force it, just observe. Keep your focus on that point between the eyebrows while breathing deeply. With every inhale, feel that you're drawing in energy directly from the universal source. It doesn't matter what name you give that source, God, universe, quantum field, the name doesn't matter. What matters is the awareness that this energy exists and you are part of it. Over time, as you maintain that focus, a deep peace arises. Not a peace that depends on outside silence, but a peace that comes from realizing you're not alone, not separate from anything. It's like your whole body relaxes because it finally understands it doesn't have to struggle just to exist. The mind quiets, the heart slows down, and along with that peace comes an indescribable sense of unlimited power. You feel like you can create, regenerate, transform, because you're connected to the source that creates all things. It's like a channel has been reopened inside you, linking the energy you activated in the previous ritual to an infinite reservoir of life force. And that's exactly what keeps rejuvenation constant, because now your body no longer works alone. It works in partnership with the whole. This practice, when done regularly, even starts to change the way you perceive the world. Worries seem smaller, fear loses its grip. You start to walk through life with the certainty that there's something greater sustaining you, something that vibrates within you every single moment. But Thoth knew that even this connection wasn't everything. There was a final secret. A hidden code not just in the mind, not just in energy, but in a sacred word. A specific vocal frequency that he reserved for those who were ready to reprogram their own body on even deeper levels. And it's exactly this word that you're about to learn now. Thoth didn't leave this sacred code just carved in symbols or etched on temple walls. He passed it on orally to those who were ready to understand that sound is a bridge between the invisible and the visible. Because a word isn't just a vibration in the air, it's a frequency that organizes inner chaos, that aligns body, mind, and spirit into one coherent flow of energy. The word was MAAT, a simple sound, but loaded with ancient power. MAAT for the Egyptians wasn't just a concept of justice or order, it was the very principle of cosmic harmony, the perfect balance between everything that exists. And when you vocalize this mantra, you're not just repeating an ancient sound, you're calling that balance into every cell of your body. The practice was clear. As the practitioner breathed deeply, they pronounced MAAT slowly and drawn out. Ma-e. The vibration of the sound was meant to resonate in the chest, as if every letter echoed not just in the throat, but in every organ, every bone, every fragment of the self. At the same time, they visualized golden light filling each cell, not a still light, but a pulsing glow that danced in sync with the sound. Each time the sound vibrated, the light inside the body seemed to grow stronger. Imagine your cells like tiny light bulbs. Each MAAT vocalized was like a surge that lit them up again, making them more alive, more radiant. The parts of the body that once felt dull or numb began to vibrate at a new frequency. And this wasn't just spiritual, it was physical. Because the mantra's sound made the chest expand, deepen the breath, and intensify blood flow, sending more oxygen and nutrients to the tissues. By vocalizing MAAT, the body entered a state of coherence. The mind stopped jumping between scattered thoughts. The spirit aligned with the physical body. And in that alignment, what was once fragmented started to integrate. Emotions balanced. The heartbeat stabilized. Energy flowed without blockages. The Hierophants knew that this state was the fertile ground for accelerated cellular regeneration. Because when everything inside you vibrates in harmony, the body understands it's time to rebuild, repair, renew. Aging, which used to be an automatic process of wear and tear, began to reverse. Every cell received a silent command: awaken, regenerate, come back to life. And what's most fascinating is that the more the practitioner surrendered to the sound and the visualization of light, the more sensitive they became to their own internal frequencies. They could feel when an organ needed more energy, when a part of the body was crying out for more light. And it was at that exact point that the ancients said the body began to fully reprogram itself. But Thoth, always a master of hidden layers, made it clear that even this mantra held a greater secret. Because there was an advanced way of vocalizing MAAT, a method that didn't just energize the body, but opened actual rejuvenation portals. And this method was only accessible to those willing to go beyond ordinary sound. Are you ready to discover this hidden secret? Because what Thoth's priests did went way beyond simply vocalizing a mantra. They discovered that sound isn't just a static frequency. Sound, when modulated correctly, acts like a key that unlocks different layers of the body and mind. That's why MAAT was chanted in 3 distinct tones, each one tuned to a specific level of your being. It started with the lowest tone, a deep, resonant sound that reverberated through the abdomen, the pelvic area, the body's densest and most essential organs. When the practitioner vocalized MAAT in this low tone, they felt it like an internal thunder waking up what had been asleep in the base of the body. The intestines, kidneys, bladder, all began to gently pulse, as if a quiet engine had been turned on. This low sound anchored the energy, created a field of stability, activated the power center the ancients called the inner earth. It was the tone that gave grounding, that awakened hidden vitality buried in the body's basement. Then, slowly, the practitioner raised the sound's frequency to a mid-tone. This tone targeted the heart. When MAAT was chanted in this middle vibration, the chest expanded. It was possible to feel the sound filling the space around the sternum, touching the heart not just as a muscle, but as an energetic center. This middle tone created a feeling of warmth, of emotional lightness. It unlocked resentment, dissolved silent hurt, balanced the emotional field that's so often weighed down by memories and unresolved pain. Chanting MAAT in this tone was like opening the windows of an inner temple and letting in the fresh air of peace. Finally, the highest tone. A sharper, subtler sound that resonated in the skull, the temples, between the eyebrows. When MAAT was vocalized this way, it felt like the sound touched the brain from the inside, like a soft bell echoing between the cerebral hemispheres. This high tone activated the mental field, cleared thoughts, expanded perception. It was like the sound swept away the dust collected on the synapses, reorganizing ideas, dissolving the fog that so often clouds the mind. It was at this moment that the practitioner felt an expansion of consciousness, like everything suddenly became sharper, clearer, more connected. The priest knew that only when these 3 tones were chanted in sequence, from low to high, did the body enter full resonance. The physical, emotional, and mental layers aligned like strings of a perfectly tuned instrument. And it's in this alignment that the rejuvenation portal opened. Because the body isn't a collection of separate parts. It's an integrated system. And when all parts vibrate in harmony, something extraordinary happens. The body remembers how to regenerate, not as a forced process, but as a return to its natural state. This advanced practice didn't just energize, it allowed the body to keep that energy circulating like a permanent rejuvenation field. Many reported that after this sequence of sounds, a calm euphoria took over, a vibrant peace, like every cell was singing in silence. But Thoth warned that even this power wasn't enough on its own, because there's one last step. A final code that seals the entire process, that keeps rejuvenation constant and prevents the energy from dispersing again. This code isn't in the sound or the breath, it's in something deeper, a purpose that connects everything that's been activated. And that's the ultimate secret we're about to talk about now. Because Thoth said that there's no point in activating energy, chanting mantras, expanding light, if inside you're still living without a why. The body knows when it's just surviving. It knows when you wake up without a real reason to be here. And when there's no purpose, the body understands that it doesn't need to last much longer. It's harsh, but it's true. What has no function, the body itself starts to let go of. That's why Thoth taught that rejuvenation isn't just a spiritual or biological issue, it's existential. Every cell in your body vibrates differently when you wake up knowing there's a reason to keep going. When you rise with a clear purpose, every part of your being understands that there's still a mission to fulfill, something to build, feel, share. And that changes everything. The body starts to regenerate not because you asked it to, but because it feels that it's needed. Biology responds to the meaning of existence. A heart that beats with purpose sends different signals to the brain, which then stimulates the production of hormones that promote longevity. The immune system strengthens because the body senses there's still value in staying here. Even your DNA responds differently when the field around it is energized by authentic purpose. And what's most amazing is that this purpose doesn't have to be some huge thing in the world's eyes. It doesn't have to be saving humanity or creating an eternal masterpiece. What matters is that it's true for you. It could be the desire to care for someone you love. It could be the urge to share a talent that pulses inside you. It could be the pursuit of leaving the world a little better than you found it. The size doesn't matter. What matters is the truth behind your intention. When the purpose is genuine, the body listens, the soul aligns, and the energy you activated through all the previous steps finds a path to settle in and renew itself constantly. Purpose is the soil where the seed of rejuvenation grows and stays alive. Without it, everything dries up, everything scatters, everything dissolves. And don't be fooled. Purpose isn't something you find ready-made. It's something you build day by day, in small choices, in everyday actions, in how you choose to show up in the world. It's a silent pact you make with life itself. I'm here because there's still something only I can offer. And when you understand that, the energy flowing through your body is no longer just raw vitality. It transforms into enthusiasm, into a desire to be present, into the joy of existing. Rejuvenation stops being a goal and becomes a natural consequence of your alignment with what truly matters to you. But if you want to put all this into practice in a guided way, there's a simple path you can start right now. A direct step, a clear method to activate everything Thoth left behind and live it in your daily life. And that's what I want to talk to you about next. Because what Thoth revealed wasn't just a standalone practice or a secret to be used once in a while. He left a true way of life, a code that's not limited to breathwork or chanting sacred sounds. It's a complete journey, a full integration of mind, body, spirit, and purpose. A path that, once started, transforms not only what you feel, but who you are. This is the path of inner immortality, and no, I'm not talking about living forever in a physical body. Thoth never promised that. What he taught is that when you fully activate this energy, your being transcends the idea of time. You're no longer a prisoner of your body's age or the calendars that count the hours. You begin to inhabit an inner space where every cell vibrates with the awareness of eternity. You feel that your presence in the world is no longer limited by label, age, or outside expectations. You become timeless because your energy field stays in a state of constant renewal. But here's the truth. Very few have the courage to walk this path all the way through. Because it takes more than technique. It takes presence. It takes looking within every single day, aligning your choices with what truly matters. It's not enough to do the ritual once or chant the mantra out of curiosity. You have to live it, embody it. Turn your routine into a temple. Make every thought a brick that builds your energy. Turn every breath into a reminder that life is pulsing inside you right now. That's the real key. And it's here, available for anyone who chooses to begin. Because it doesn't matter how many times you've tried before or how many times you got lost along the way. Thoth left a map, and it works every single time someone chooses to follow it for real. If you've made it this far, that's already a sign that your inner energy has started to wake up. so write this in the comments. I break the cycle and activate my life force. That way, I'll know who's truly committed to escaping this invisible prison and tapping into the power Thoth left behind. Oh, and if you want to help this channel keep bringing content like this, there's a link down below in the first pinned comment where you can contribute directly and be part of this mission to spread wisdom and awakening out there. And before you go, pay attention. I've set aside a special video for you to take the next step on this journey. A piece of content that will go even deeper into what you've just discovered and show you how to apply all of it in your daily life. It's showing up right here on the screen now. Click on it and I'll see you on the other side.